What is up, my beautiful Recovered on Purpose family? Welcome to Monday Motivation right here on the Recovered on Purpose show. I'm sorry for my absence for the last 11 days. The page had to be verified for location and that it was actually me posting, so they took away my ability to post for a little bit. But it's great to see you guys. We're going to talk about eliminating distractions and full focus mode. Love you guys. Enjoy the show and keep living Recovered on Purpose.
The black represents the darkness from which we came. The white represents the light in which we now live. And the red represents the passion it takes to live Recovered on Purpose.
Good morning, everybody. It is wonderful to see you. I've missed you guys so much. I'm sorry I've been gone for 11 days. Basically, Facebook had to do a verification on the page in my location because I got a new phone, turned off the location status. And when you have a public page, they make sure to track you and make sure it's you posting. So it is awesome to be back. Awesome to see you all. And I love you all so much. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know your clean and sober dates. We always love to celebrate here. And today we're going to be talking about eliminating distractions and how this can absolutely 100% change the game of your life. And I've been talking about this with some mentors of mine and some different strategies that people use, and even biblical places where it comes from, that it's super, super important that when we're waging war, right? Because each one of us, we're waging a war in our life. We're waging war against addiction. We're waging war against distraction. We're waging war against that enemy, that voice in our head that's telling us that we can't do this or telling us not to do this, or, all those different things that are trying to take us away from the purpose and the call in our life that God has given us in our recovery. And each and every one of us, right? Each and every one of us that has found recovery from drug addiction and alcoholism, we each have the same call and the same purpose attached with the other ones that are different from everybody else's. But each and every one of us has a unique and special call to help people out there that are struggling. Let me know if you agree with that. Let me know if you don't agree with that. Let me know if you're someone that's in recovery and you don't believe that you're supposed to be out there helping people that are struggling in addiction and alcoholism. Because ultimately, everything that I do from the start of Recovered on Purpose, I had this why statement written up on my whiteboard that I am the example of what's possible for someone in recovery. I am the example. And you are the example of what's possible for someone in their life in recovery. Everything that we do, every area of our life that we personally develop in, every area of our life that we grow in, our health status, the way that we walk, the way that we talk, the way that we learn, everything in our life is an example for people out there that are suffering to be attracted to a life in recovery. And if you're a 12-stepper, if you're someone that's involved in fellowships, that's literally one of the traditions. We are a program of attraction rather than promotion. We're not going out telling people, hey, you need to come do the 12 steps. You need to come do it this way. What we're doing is we're living a life in recovery that attracts people to come ask us, how'd you do it? Because that moment right there, when someone asks you a question and you have the answer available, that's when change happens. That's when impact is made. Because I don't know about you guys, but when someone would tell me in my addiction, you need to stop using drugs, I'd be like, well, yeah, I'm aware of that, but I'm not really ready yet. And even if I wanted to, my heart wasn't in a position where I was open to receiving the wisdom and the knowledge of what I needed to do in order to find recovery. But then I heard someone speak. I heard someone speak and share their story and share the exact same way that they were struggling in their alcoholism for 7 years. In the rooms, out of the rooms, in the rooms, and out of the rooms. And they couldn't grasp the real message that was going on and that was supposed to happen. And there wasn't really anything that they were attracted to, because so many people were talking about, having 12 years sober and talking about, I just lost my job and this and this and that. And that's not the message that you and I are delivering. You and I are delivering a message of power, a message of depth and weight that's going to be able to grasp onto somebody's heart and say, come on, there's a life for you in recovery. That is what our purpose is. And today we're going to talk about eliminating the distractions that take us from that purpose right there. Amen. I need to get help in Nova Scotia, Canada. Laura, love you. Message me. Message this page and we'll talk about it. We'll find you something. I didn't mean to send that emoji. Sorry. Oh, you are welcome to send emojis. I love emojis. Emojis are always welcome here. What's up, Paula? What's up, Brandy? Good to see you. are you actually know you're ready to recover? When I knew I was ready to recover is when I was willing to let go of all the plans that I continued to make in my own mind to recover. And I was willing to open up and listen on how to recover and do whatever came in front of my path to do. That's when I knew, when I was broken enough to the point that I didn't have any more plans. I didn't have any other way that I was going to be able to grasp on and control this thing. That's when I knew. And it got to a point where I didn't want my life anymore. I didn't want to live like this anymore. And the only way that I'm going to be able to live a life is to do what was laid out in front of me. That was the only way for me. I did the steps rapidly. I did my first ever 5th step on day 25. And on day 26, the obsession had left me. It had left me. I haven't had it come back to where I'm thinking about, how am I going to use, or how long is it going to be till I'm going to use? What am I going to use? That thought process has not come back to my mind since day 26 of sobriety. And there's work that had to be done. Going to meetings isn't enough. Going to meetings is good. We need to go to meetings. If you're in early recovery, meetings are an incredible place to build that community and find people that can help you with the process of how to find recovery. But there is work that has to be done. A meeting is 1 hour out of 24 hours of the day, and the 23 hours are what we're learning how to live. So when you know you're ready, you know you're ready. And first step, I would say message my page and say hi. We'll talk about it. Yes. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Paula? Bay Area. What's up, Kylie? A message of power, depth, and weight, eliminating the distractions that take away from recovery. Amen, Renee. Exactly what we're talking about. Love you, Abdullah. Love you. Hi, I'm in North Bay, Canada. 95 days sober. Let's go, Tina. Congratulations. Welcome, welcome. All right, guys. So eliminations of distractions. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And what a distraction is, and this is the way that I define distraction. Distraction is something that pulls our attention away from what God has called us to do in that moment. In that moment, I'm not talking about, the big purposeful dream, purpose life of what God has for us in that vision, right? What I'm talking about, a distraction is what takes us away from the action we're supposed to take right here in this moment in order to take us towards that dream, in order to take us towards that purpose, that call that God has for our life. And now I want you to think about your own life. I want you to think about what the goal is for your life over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, what that vision of your life is that you're not doing right now, but you feel called to do. Is it to become an addictions counselor? Is it to start sponsoring people? Is it to start sharing your story? What is that thing that's inside of you that's going to create a life for you that you're going to be able to be more attractive to people that are in addiction and be in a better position to help people find recovery? So think about that vision for you as we're talking about in the show today, as we're talking about these distractions, as we're talking about this. Think about that for yourself, okay? So something that I teach in my course and the people that I'm coaching and stuff, I teach this concept, the great distractor. So I want you to know, and I want you to know this without a doubt, whatever the voice is that distracts you, whenever you sit down to do a project that is taking you closer to your call, closer to your purpose, closer to that thing you're supposed to do with your life, that voice that tries to take you away from that focus is not you. It's not you. It is the great distractor. It's something else there that is trying to stop you from fulfilling your purpose. It is something that is trying to keep you from getting to maximum usefulness to God and your fellows that are out there suffering. So if that's the case, then what we're in is a war for our focus. We are in a war, a spiritual, a psychological war for our focus to take us to the place that we're supposed to go in our recovery. So whatever that thing is that you're thinking about that you want to do over the next year, 2 years, 3 years with your life, if you want to graduate from school, if you want to, addictions counselors or start sponsoring people in the next 30, 60 days, something like that. When you are sitting down to do the work, the steps that you know you need to take to get to that place, That voice that says, hey, you forgot to sweep the floor. Hey, you got to do that laundry that's sitting over there. Hey, don't forget, you got to call your mom today. That voice, and sometimes it gives you really good distractions like, oh, I really do need to call my mom. Or, oh, yeah, I have people coming over. I really do need to sweep the floor. But the thing is in that moment when you sit down, you need to have time to get focused on what you are actually supposed to do in that moment. So think about that and know that you're in a war for your focus, and focus and determination is key to actually building the purpose-filled life that you're supposed to in your recovery. The will of God is for you to be at the best you can possibly be. And I'm not saying, we're going to talk about this in a minute, I'm not saying not to call your mom, not to do your laundry, not to sweep the floor. We're going to talk about how to do all that in focus mode, okay? So an excellent way to pull yourself into a focus mode, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time. It's called the list of 6. At the end of your day, and a quote that I heard from a mentor one time was, your day is not finished until your next day is planned. Your day is not finished until your next day is planned. When you are about to go to bed, when you're finishing your day, literally, if you write in your journal a list of 6 things, the most productive tasks that need to be done tomorrow in order to take you to the place that you're called to go. Just write them down with the pen in your journal. Write them down. You could even write them down on your phone if you want to, just to note the 6 things you need to get done tomorrow. This could be read 10 pages. This could be go on a run. This could be go to the gym. Because at a time in our life, those things are the things that are going to take us to the next step of getting to the place where we're that person that's out there serving people. You know, a list of 6 things. Right now, I've got to make a new podcast folder packet today. I've got to send a proposal to a partnership nonprofit. I've got to go get my computer that's in the shop right now. I've got to get my files from my Google Drive and put them around in places so that they're easily accessible for when we're going to be using them. Got to make a packet for speaking, a new one, and then I've got to make a packet for events. And those 6 things right there, finishing those today will take me to the next step that I need to be in this process, this call that I have for my life. And then when you have these 6 things written down, when you wake up in the morning, you do your morning routine, you do the things that you're doing spiritually, health-wise, take care of yourself. And then if you're going to work, go to work. But when you have time to yourself, you sit down with this list of 6 and you start on the first task, and you do not stop until that first task is done. What this does is it makes it so that you are completing things all the way through when you start them. And you'll be able to check off that list as you go down. And if you do this every single day, you will be light years beyond in a year where you will be without it. This will multiply your production 10 times. And you can have this list of 6 be, as simple as you like to start. You can have it be brush your teeth, go to the gym, drink a glass of water. These 6 simple things that you want to do in the morning, meditate 5 minutes, put those things down and check them off as you go to start building a habit of focus on what's taking you to the next step of your life and your purpose. That's what the list of 6 is. Now, super flow state. I know you all have been in this state of being before, where you're working on something. Maybe you're even working with a sponsee, or you're working with your sponsor. And it's like you're doing something in this moment where nothing else is distracting you. You are just so fully focused in this moment. You're not thinking about other things. You get into a place of calmness, a place of peace. You get into a place where everything that you're doing, it's like you're learning it. It's like you're building it, and there's nothing that is coming in and attacking you. Nothing that is stopping you from working on this. And 25 minutes in this state is better than 5 hours of going, okay, here, and then, I need to do this, and here, and I need to go over here. My phone just rang. If you get into a place for 25 minutes of real focused flow state, your production is 10 times what it will be if you're allowing distractions in. And if you have experience, and I know everybody has experienced focus flow state, and it's different for everybody, right? Sometimes people experience it when they're riding their bike or they're skiing, or, for me, when I'm actually like working on a project, when I'm sitting here and I'm writing a project, when I'm writing my book, or when I'm, working on these projects, I get in this state of flow because I can see where it's taking me. That's where I get it. When I'm working on something that I can see impacting the future. And when I get into that state, it's like I have ideas flowing out. I have things happening in that moment that are taking me to the next step. So this is what the ultimate goal is when you sit down to work on the list of 6. You want to be in a place where you're focused in that moment. Okay. And now, distractions take you from flow state 100%. Literally right now, my phone is down here and it is on focus mode. It's on do not disturb. If I'm working on something, I have it on do not disturb because I'm constantly getting messages and WhatsApps and emails and things, and I just leave it there for the time when I am putting myself in a focused state to work on emails and messages and replying and things like that. And what happens if you're sitting down and you are in this focus flow state and you're working and you're understanding and you're flowing and ideas are coming out and you're creating and you're doing all this, and then a text message pops up and you go to it, you already lost that focus flow state, because now you're over here, you're texting back, boom. And then when you come back, it takes 18 to 25 minutes to get back to focus flow state. You just lost yourself 18 to 25 minutes of real productive work. And this means that when you're sitting down with a sponsee, when you're sitting down with somebody that you're doing the work with your sponsor, someone like that, put your phone away, put it on do not disturb. Even feeling it vibrate in your on your leg, in your pocket, will distract you from what you're doing in that moment. And it'll make it so that you can't actually get the full message of that meeting. Distractions take away the focus flow state. It's important to eliminate them before you even sit down to do them. Okay. And then there's these other types of distractions. I'm going to hop in the comments real quick and say what's up. Let's go. Let's go. What's up? Yeah. Hello. Good to see you. Kelly, 108 days from PA. Let's go. Hope you're staying safe. Good morning, Cruz. What's up, Cruz? Good to see you. Making an awesome day, you all. Yes, July 22nd, 2019, Arizona. God is good. Amen. Hey, what's shaking, Adam? Hard Knocks Talks. What's up? Good to see you. I like it. Thank you. Love you, Paula. Good to see you. All right. Now I'm going to give you guys something that I train in my courses. I train to people I coach. And again, when we go back to the great distractor and what we were talking about, that voice in your head that tries to take you from that focus flow state, that thing right there, it's not you. It's something that is trying to take you away from focused flow state. Now, when you sit down to start working on your list of 6, when you sit down to get in that focused state, when you sit down or you go to the gym or you go on a run, those kinds of things, and you want to get in that focused flow state, something that I train, I call it the great distractor secretary. The great distractor secretary. This is an idea that has kind of morphed from a bunch of different things that I've learned, where that voice, sometimes it actually reminds you of things that you really do have to do. That's why it's so incredibly powerful, and it knows what it's doing. It knows how to take your focus away because it'll remind you about something that you didn't do that you have to do. So what I do is I call it the great distractor secretary. And when I sit down to get focused, when things start coming in to tell me what I have to do, what I forgot to do and all that, I say, thank you, secretary. And I write that down on another list because that's a task that needs to get done. And once I write it down, that puts it into what's called a state of being handled. It's no longer in my mind. I've written it down that it will be completed later. And then the distractor, the great distractor, will try to tell me something else I need to do. You need to mop your floor. Oh, mop floor. Okay. And then sit down. Okay. Oh, you need to call your mom. All right. Call mom. And then boom. Oh, you need to do laundry. Do laundry. And then write it down until all of it is gone. You're literally, not only are you taking away the power of the great distractor to tell you all these things, but you're using him to help you get the things done that you may have forgotten to do. You make a list right here of all the things that you need to do that are little tasks. Obviously, doing my laundry isn't something that is as big as, making the new podcast folder, right? That's not going to take me to a huge leap of purpose towards Recovered on Purpose. But what doing my laundry does, it's a task I need to get done. I need to have my clothes clean. It's a task that needs to get done. So thank you. And I write it down and then move on and keep going. And then I get all of this whole list. Each one of these things usually takes 5 to 10 minutes max each. And if I have 6, 8, 10 things there, I can get done everything else in my life in an hour and a half a day. And the great distractor was just utilized as my secretary. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I hope that you got some value out of this. If you did get some value out of this, please consider sharing it around to your community, sharing it on your page so that people know about this movement and know that recovery is possible. And not only recovery, but a purpose-filled, wonderful life in recovery is possible. Guys, I'm going to close it out with a special announcement. Love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week and keep living Recovered on Purpose. What's up, family? I have an exciting announcement for you. This year, we'll be doing monthly launches of our courses that will bring you into weekly coaching with me and weekly one-on coaching with a certified Recovered on Purpose coach to train you exactly how to get your story out to more people and help addicts get clean. And guess what? We will have 100% scholarships available for those that are in need of financial support. At the end of the first 30-day course, you'll be upgraded to weekly group coaching with myself and other coaches and given the opportunity to get certified to be a Recovered on Purpose coach as well. There will be all kinds of perks to being in the community, and after 90 days, you will be eligible to work with Recovered on Purpose, sharing your story in your local community and being paid hourly plus daily bonuses. Imagine having a part-time job in your recovery where your job is sharing your recovery story in the community movement we have at Recovered on Purpose with the public, decked out in fresh Recovered on Purpose gear and out there helping your community with your story. None of this is possible without all of you helping spread the message and our donors and sponsors supporting this mission. I want to thank all our bronze, silver, and gold donors with a special thank you to our platinum level sponsor, the King's Brotherhood, where the most elite businessmen come to grow and ascend to the next level in their business. If you're interested in giving to this cause or becoming a sponsor of this cause, visit recoveredonpurpose.com/donation. Enjoy the rest of the show and keep living Recovered on Purpose.